Hi, it's Karen Peterson, and I'm excited to introduce you to one of my very special people here at Passages today. So, again, I'm the clinical director of Passages Wellness and Counseling for Women, and this is a great opportunity for me to highlight the wonderful women that work here with me. So, the person I'm going to introduce you to is someone who's been with Passages a good long time. She can tell you more about that, but she's been with us for a while and she has a leadership role here. And she is so invaluable to the work that we do. So, without further ado, I'd love to introduce you to Nicole Piervencenti. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for talking with me today.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. So, tell me your credentials and a little bit about your clinical background.
So, I am a licensed mental health counselor as well as a PMH-C, a perinatal mental health specialist. And I also have a certificate in sex therapy, which is always fascinating. And yeah, that's me.
Okay. Awesome. So, what's a really fun fact about you is that you were not always a therapist. So, can you share a little bit about that and then, like, what led you in the direction of becoming a therapist?
Sure. So, growing up, I always wanted to be an actress. So, I did a lot of shows and plays. I danced and I went away to school for it. And then I had a somewhat of a tiny career in acting and then did some things. I toured around on a cruise ship for a while and saw the world. And when I didn't become the next Julia Roberts, I decided it was time to maybe go back to school. And I had double majored in college in psych because I always had a fascination with the human experience and our human condition. I have a lot of mental illness in my extended family, unfortunately, and it sort of was always an interest of mine.
Yeah,
So I thought, okay, maybe time to go back to school. So that's what I did. And yeah, I chose LMHC because I really knew that I wanted to help people, specifically doing therapy and working in that capacity versus social work. I was not interested in social reform at the time or anything like that. So I chose the mental health counseling route.
beautiful. Yeah, that's great. And it's good to know exactly with the life experience that you had, you knew exactly what you wanted to do. So, that makes a lot of sense. So, I love all of the things that you just talked about in terms of the depth and breadth of your experience. Can you tell a little bit more about your interest in those areas, such as perinatal mental health? You also didn't get even into one of your best specialties, but perinatal mental health. I'll save the one that I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you said yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. So couples, no, and sex, but couples, obviously. Yeah. So tell me more about all of those areas and start wherever you want. Just share whatever you feel like sharing.
Okay. So couples, I love working with couples mostly. Again, I think that I'm fascinated with the way we tick and our human experience. And I think, when you look at couples, a lot of times you say, okay, so marriage was invented so men could exchange land, true story. And people lived to be the ripe old age of 29 before they died of bubonic plague. So there wasn't a lot of people living for 50 years with the same person. And so when you look at it from that historical standpoint and then follow it through, it's just fascinating how it sort of has evolved. And I love to help couples realize that every day we wake up with this person, we're making a choice. And so, how do I lean in? How do I accept? How do I give love? All of those things that go along with creating that family.
Yeah.
I also think that for couples that have children, society has shifted from concentration on the parents and the marriage to concentration on the children. That takes a big toll on marriages and long-term relationships
Yeah.
when there just isn't any emphasis or priority given to the marriage, which is the foundation of that family. So I like to help them and give them permission to put the marriage, front and center sometimes. And how do they do that?
Yeah.
So
That's excellent. So that's some of the work that you do is helping them figure that out.
yeah, helping them figure that out. Going back to the perinatal piece, when I had my daughter Melina in 2001, I I went through postpartum anxiety and depression fairly significantly, and was hard pressed to find any resources out there for help. And I knew I needed help, but I didn't know what to do. I was really just at a loss. So eventually, after I had my son and we moved out to Long Island, I had found this organization called the National Association of Mothers Centers. And it was a place where you could go with your small child and you got to meet other moms and get support. And through that organization, they teamed up with the Postpartum Resource Center of New York, another great organization that helps anyone going through a perinatal mood disorder. The founder of that, Sonia Murak, had her sister go through postpartum psychosis, and then that was her mission. So she created that. She came to the Mother Center and asked if we would start running what she calls the Circle of Caring, which is a self-help support group for women experiencing any type of perinatal mood disorder. So I started running those groups.
Yeah.
And through that, it was very healing for me as well, because I had gone through this. So to be able to give back and be that help that I was so desperately seeking and couldn't find was just beautiful and wonderful, and definitely led me to go back to school. That was another piece of me going back and getting my degree. My husband saw how much I loved it, how passionate I was, and he said, "Why don't you get a degree so you could actually do this as a job?" And I was like, "You know what, you're right." And that's that sort of all ties that together.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's like a full circle moment. And,
Yeah.
that's sometimes some of the greatest gifts that we have as clinicians is being able to really relate to something and sometimes on a very personal level. So, yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. And last but not least, the piece that you were talking about your sex therapy. So that's your most recent certificate. Tell me, obviously, with couples, that's going to be an issue that comes up, but tell me about your interest in that and how you support couples or individuals in that area.
So I think in America, we have a very interesting take on our human sexuality. It is not viewed as it is in other countries as just part of our experience. Like we eat, we sleep, we have sex. Here, sex is, we're a puritanical, shame-based culture. So it's very shamed and it's very like, oh my God, and don't talk about it. And certainly from the way our generation was.
Sure.
So one of the things I like to do is say to clients, like, we have few carnal pleasures in life: eating, sleeping, and sex, and we should be enjoying all of them without guilt in a healthy manner. And I love to help either individuals, but mostly for me, it's in my couples work, have them get to a really healthy place with that, where they are open with their partner, they have that deep intimacy, understanding where trust and intimacy are and how that correlates to their sex life. And yeah, so that's some of the stuff I love. I love the dynamic, and I love being able to take the shame piece out of it for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And that's not easy to do. You have to be comfortable with that yourself. So the fact that you did the work to prepare yourself to be able to talk about it and bring people into that space where they can feel comfortable. I know that's one of your greatest skills. So yeah. So, and last but not least, I did say that before, but this is actually last but not least. You have another really special role here, and that is in your leadership. Can you talk a little bit about what you do here, since you have so much experience, how we are able to work with you to get that benefit here at Passages?
Sure. I am an assistant clinical director here. And I think after I became a clinician and started really practicing and learning, I had some really key people that helped me along my journey, Michelle Button, our founder, being one of them. Uh, and I I really thought it would be great to be in a role like that, where I could mentor younger clinicians and talk about the tough stuff and talk about the countertransference, and that stuff fascinates me. So that's probably my favorite part of my role as ACD. There are other things, obviously, that we do in terms of metrics with the practice and things like that, but that's really the key piece for me, is working with newer, not always younger, but newer, because I wasn't
I
newer.
was thinking that, yeah, some are not younger, but yeah.
I'm not younger. I was not
Yeah.
younger. So, but less seasoned, shall we say,
Yeah,
clinician.
absolutely. Yeah. So that is you in a nutshell, right? That's, that's just some of the many things that you're doing. But we're so grateful for you, and I'm so glad that you were able to just come on here with me today and give the world a little bit of a preview about you. A lot of our you see a lot of clients. So a lot of our clients know you, and obviously all the clinicians, but we just love to sort of highlight you and all of those amazing skills and gifts that you have. So again, thank you for joining me today.
Well,
And
thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and I'm so thankful for my role here, and to be a messenger of this work and be able to help people. I hope so.
absolutely, and you definitely do. So thank you all for watching, and we are just really grateful that you're here. Like and subscribe if you are enjoying meeting our cast and crew, meeting the wonderful people of Passages and just hearing a little bit more about what we do and all the topics that are important to you and to us. So thank you again, and
Thank you.
take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.